Today, I will be talking about Disney versus Universal. Disney and Universal are two of the biggest companies in the world, and that means they have some of the biggest theme park chains in the entire world, with a combined 23 theme parks and water parks as of 2025. And today, I will be talking about which one is better by stating pros and cons about each company and deciding which is the best at the end. Also, before we start, I've been to the Orlando versions of these parks, so I'll be comparing the Orlando resorts of each respective chains. Starting off with Universal, their first pro is that they have more thrill rides. Universal as a whole is much more geared towards teens and young adults, which makes for more intense and thrilling experiences. Universal parks around the world have rides like Velocicoaster, Battlestar Galactica, Flying Dinosaurs, which are all amazing rides that are just as thrilling as rides at Six Flags or Cedar Fair parks. And as someone that likes thrill rides, I personally enjoy these more thrilling and intense rides at theme parks. One of the bad things about Universal is it's usually a bit more expensive than Disney, and usually Disney is about $140 compared to Universal being about $150, so being slightly more expensive. And overall, the prices in the park are usually better at Disney compared to Universal. Parking being $30 at Disney and $35 at Universal, which is kind of crazy for parking, but okay. And food is on average a little bit cheaper at Disney from my experience. Another pro about Universal is that the theme lands are good and some of the best in the world. The detailing is so insane, and the Harry Potter section literally changed how theme parks do themed lands. And you can tell the difference between Hogsmeade and all the lands at Magic Kingdom and all the Disney parks before Hogsmeade came out and after. And the other themed lands like Jurassic World and all the new lands at Epic Universe are all better and more detailed compared to the Disney counterparts, especially since Disney's not really making any more themed lands. But on the other hand, even though Universal has some of the most detailed and up-to-date themed lands, a lot of their older ones are very hit or miss. Lands like the Harry Potter section and Super Mario World are super good and detailed, but you have other lands like Toon Lagoon and Marvel Studios just feel out of date. And in general, I think that these lands aren't very good, and they either need updates or they need new rides to spice up the land, which is usually something that Disney does pretty well with all of their current lands. The last pro for Universal is that they're still adding parks. Disney so far has no response to Epic Universe, and since they already have 4 parks, it's unlikely that they will add another one, which is kind of sad since competition is what drives these parks to do so much better, but Universal seems to be on the move. They are not okay with being overshadowed by Disney, and they are adding new parks and new rides at such a fast pace with such high quality. They are trying to be the best theme park chain in the business. The last con is that they don't really have any shows at the end of the day. Disney has big shows at the end of their theme park days, being like fireworks and light shows. Even smaller theme parks like Kings Island have firework and drone shows every day, which is super unique compared to many other parks around the world. And since Universal is a big company, I think they should do it. I do know that they have light shows on the Hogsmeade Castle, but they only do it on certain days, and I wish that they just did it every day instead of only on certain days like Disney. On to Disney. The first pro is that Disney is very creative with their themed lands. If you think that Universal has a lot of IPs for themed lands, Disney has double. Universal has a handful of lands that are used across many theme parks, while Disney rarely reuses themed lands. Also, not all the lands at Disney are IPs. Unlike Universal, where most of their lands are IPs, Disney uses creative ideas instead of movie characters. I personally like how all the lands at Magic Kingdom are human ideas instead of movies, because it's just much more creative and unique for a themed land. Even though Disney has a much more diverse selection of themed lands, a lot of them are still based off children movies. As someone who is not below the age of 12, these movies are good, but compared to the movies and IPs of Universal, they just don't grab my attention as much. Second pro of Disney is that they have a lot more rides. Even though these rides are mostly for kids, there are more to offer compared to Universal. Also, since there are more rides, the crowds are usually more spread out across all these different rides compared to Universal, which is useful for certain days that are super busy if you don't want to buy a fast pass. Also, the fast passes are usually cheaper at Disney, being about 150 USD compared to 200 at Universal if you don't want to buy a fast pass. Another con for Disney is that it usually takes forever to get to their parks. I'm mostly speaking about Magic Kingdom, the most popular park at the Disney Resort, but it just takes forever to get to these parks. Obviously, you have to park in the parking lot, which usually you're towards the back. And for Magic Kingdom, you have to take a 15-minute ferry or tram to get to the park, which is a cool experience the first time around, but after can be very annoying. Compared to Universal, where you have parking garages, so no matter where you park, you're the exact same distance, and you have escalators on the floor to move faster. And City Walk is not that far of a walk, and it allows for easy entrance to both parks. Last pro for Disney is that they have a show at the end of the day, like fireworks and light shows. I know I kind of already talked about this during the Universal Con, but I like to bring it up here again because this Disney show is really good. Disney being the big corporation that they are, they have the funding to put up big shows every day. And their fireworks show is so good that no other theme park has a better fireworks show. And I would say that it's even better than some fireworks shows put on for the 4th of July. It's that good. The last con is that the layout of the Disney parks are much worse than the ones at the Universal parks. The park layout, specifically at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, are not very good at all. All their lands end in dead ends, and you have to turn around and usually go through multiple themed lands to get back to the middle of the park. While the Universal parks are more of a circular layout, so it's easy to go from one section to one section because it is a circle and easy to navigate. In the end, I do have a winner, and it is Universal is the winner. I think that the fact that it has more thrilling rides and the theme lands are more aimed towards teens and adults, which is my demographic, is why I do like Universal better. But if you do have kids that are under 13 and really like Disney movies, I think that it'd be a much better experience for a family to go compared to Universal. But in the end, I do believe that Universal is superior. Thanks for watching, subscribe, vote on my community tab, since that's where I get most of my ideas from, and I love making the videos that you guys like, and other than that, have a good day.